Now coming to the next last most important part of it is your cytoskeleton. Okay, now cytoskeleton is what? It's a network of fibers extending throughout the cytoplasm. Okay, and it is mainly involved in mechanical support, motility and maintenance of the shape of the cell. So these are the three major important functions of your cytoskeleton. Now there are three major types. Let's see them. Microtubules, although it's not given in your NCERT, but still I'm telling you because I feel that you should know it. Microtubules, they are hollow tubules, okay, tube-like structure made up of tubulin molecules, and their diameter is 25 nanometer to 15 nanometer. Okay, they are the thickest one. Then microfilaments, that is your actin filaments. If you have read in class 9th, your this filament is also a part of your muscle protein, isn't it? This is your 7 nanometer diameter. Okay, and then comes your intermediate filament, that is keratin filament, and you can see this is the thickest, this is the thinnest, and in between is your 18 to 20 nanometer. This is the diameter of your keratin filaments. Okay, now as you will go on reading about more and more about specific like muscles and all, so there you will keep on reading, like tubulin, it forms your during cell division. Also spindle fibers, they are made up of what? They are made up of tubulin molecules. Okay, so you will keep on reading about them as and when. Now let us come to the another major important component, that is your centrosome and centrioles. Okay, centrosome, it is often located near the nucleus and is considered a what? A microtubule organizing center. Means it's a center from where these different kind of tubules they come out. Okay, and within these centrosome, if you look at, there is a pair of centrioles which are arranged in a perpendicular manner to each other. Okay, I'm showing you here a diagram. You can see here, this is your centrosome. Okay, now you can see these are the centrioles which are arranged in a particular manner, and you can see here this is an amorphous material around it, and this entire structure is called as centrosome, and this an amorphous substance is basically made up of many different kind of protein tubules. Okay, I can show here. You can see here, these are what? These are different kinds of microtubules, and these are the two your centrioles. Fine. Now look at that key, like plants, fungi, these cells, they lack what? Your centrioles. Okay, then how microtubules will be formed? So they have other well organized microtubule organizing center in them. Okay, fine. Now we are going to move towards cilia and flagella. Okay, so if you look at cilia and flagella, they are what? Hair-like outgrowths on the cell membrane, isn't it? Now if you look at this, this is the cross section of your cilia and flagella. Okay, their structure is like this. They have got a this, if you count them, then they are what? 9 tubulin dimers. Okay, these are dimers, tubulin dimers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are the two central ones. So this arrangement we call as what? As 9+2 arrangement. Okay, and here what you find is that there is these are central tubules. Okay, and these are peripheral microtubule doublets, and this is your plasma membrane. And now what do you see? That there is what? These are the radial spokes, these ones which are uniting them, and these are your interdoublet bridge is there. Okay, and this is your what? Dynein proteins. Okay, these are motor proteins and provides energy for the movement. Remember, Danians perform a complex movements based by changing in shape of their protein. Fine. So these dynein molecules, proteins, they are a kind of a motor proteins. Okay, with the help of energy, and it's a very complex process by which there is movement in them. They bring about movement in these tubulin dimers, and then they bring about movement of that cilia and flagella. Like cilia, if you look at, they act like your oars of your a ship and all. Like in oars, if you push the oars backwards, what happens? Your ship moves forward, isn't it? आपकी नाव आगे चलने लगती है. Fine. So they have, and now if you look at your centrioles, I am showing you the structure of centrioles. This is the structure of centrioles. Now centrioles, if you look at, these tubulin dimers are in triplets, and they are 9 in number. And in central portion there is no tubulin dimers, rather it's a proteinaceous hub, and these are your radial spokes. Okay, now these centrioles, they only give rise to your what? The basal body. It gives rise to your what? Your cilia and flagella. Okay, fine. Let's come to the cell wall of plants, isn't it? Now cell, you know that animal cells do not possess cell wall, and cell wall is much thicker than the plasma membrane, which is about 0.1 macrometer to several micrometer. Okay, and the exact composition of cell wall, see, it varies from plant to plant, species to species, but the basic design pattern by which the cell wall is formed is consistent. Okay, so that is consistent. Now newly formed cell wall is relatively, when the cell wall is newly formed, okay, it is what? It is thin, flexible and permeable, and it is called as what? Primary wall. Okay, and between the two primary walls, now I'm showing you here a diagram. Okay, just see here. What do you see here? You see that it has got a walls, isn't it? And you can see that there are pores on these walls. Okay, and these are called as plasmodesmata, and by these pores you can see the cell connects one cell with another cell. You can see here also they are connecting with these pores, isn't it? And now you can see here, these are the walls, okay, of your, now the primary wall, isn't it, which I am talking about, it's a newly formed. Okay, and in between the two primary walls, what do you find? In between the two primary walls, you will find that it has got a layer, very thin layer, okay, of sticky polysaccharide. Sticky, why? Because it helps in sticking the two primary cell walls together, and it is made up of which component? Pectin. Okay, and it helps in sticking the two cells together. Now when this primary cell wall, when the cell matures and no more it's growing, okay, now what is happening? Now it's stops growing, then it strengthens its wall. There are two ways by which its wall strengthens: by secreting hardening substances, okay, into the primary wall. So itself in the primary wall, if things are added which hardens that wall, okay, like hemicellulose is added, and all those things are added, then it makes that wall what? Hard. Okay, so that is called a primary wall. And adding a secondary cell wall, that is inside your primary cell wall a new secondary cell wall is formed. Okay, and it is formed between what? Between your primary cell wall and plasma membrane. So secondary membrane is inner to your primary cell wall. Okay, secondary cell wall is inner to your primary cell wall. Okay, so adding many layers of that secondary wall, and which imparts what? Strength, durability, protection and support. So as you will move on to the tissues chapter, there you will read about it. Okay, especially woods, they are rich in what? In your secondary cell wall. Okay, when you will read about xylem, phloem, there you will come across them. Okay, now cell walls are, as I have shown you in the diagram also, they are what? They are perforated. They are perforated. It is F. Okay, it is perforated, means it has got pores on it. Okay, and since the cell walls are perforated, so that helps to communicate between the two cells. As I can show you here again, you can see that there are what? Pores by which they are communicating. One cell is communicating, and these pores you can see here. Similarly, another cell. So through these pores they are communicating with one another. Okay, fine. Now let's look at the functions. What are the functions of your cell wall? They give shape to the cell, protects the cell from mechanical damage and infection. Okay, helps cell to cell interaction, I said you, through plasmodesmata, and it also prevents excessive uptake of water. Maybe like when you keep like suppose I am giving you an example, like gram is when kept in water is what? Hypotonic solution, isn't it? But still you see that the grams, they don't burst, isn't it? But if you keep an animals in a hypotonic solution like RBC, if you keep it in hypotonic solution, its membrane is bursting. Why? Because it doesn't have a wall. Okay, and here they have a wall which prevents the excessive uptake of water. Fine.